Batman and Superman have lost to the world's greatest machine, a being that has taken over all of the world and has begun to control every machine. When we last left off, Batman and Superman were wearing inhibitor collars and were captured and working in a factory to build more machines, while Robin was in the Batmobile going to Supergirl for help when the Batmobile was taken over by the machines. This is a part of the world's finest storyline, telling some classic stories involving Batman and Superman and how they all got to know each other and became the world's finest. Today we're going to be covering issues 16 and 17. As Robin is driving through Gotham City trying to get a hold of any heroes that could help him, he tries to warn Supergirl, but the Batmobile suddenly begins to drive on its own and Robin's eyes widen as the car steers him directly towards a wall. Robin throws his hands as the car is about to slam into the wall, but a red blur suddenly grabs him out of the car at the last second. Kid Flash said you were in trouble. Looks like I found you just in time. Does this have anything to do with the great AI uprising? Flash asks with a smile as he pulls Robin to safety. He then quickly fills Robin in on everything that has happened while Robin informs him of Batman and Superman's disappearance. Meanwhile, at New Mazo's base, the android turns away from the world's finest. You are here to build. Will Magnus will guide you. Other than that, you are beneath my notice, he says over his shoulder. The heroes turn to Magus, asking why he would build something like this. And Magus explains that he was captured by Ivo and forced to use his Respondometer, the electric brain that gives the Metal Men their intelligence, to upgrade the Amazo design. But Ivo couldn't predict what would happen, and New Mazo replicated both their genius minds and decided it was time for humanity to end. To do this, he needed resources, so New Mazo began to abduct different billionaires and replace them with androids. What's New Mazo's end goal? New Mazo intends to replace humanity with worldwide AI supremacy, Magus explains, telling them about the reclamation plants that have been built, which will break down humans to their basic elements for personal reuse. Batman and Superman's eyes widen in horror at this revelation. Meanwhile, outside Midway City, Hawkman has leaped into combat against the overtaken Superman androids that are protecting one of the reclamation centers. Below, Rex and the Metal Men watch on. Oh man, looks like we caught Hawkman mid-battle. No offense to him, but I can't see a fight with Superman robots lasting too long. Any ideas? He asks his friend. Suddenly, one of the walls explodes outward, revealing a smiling Plastic Man. Yeah! Bust down the unholy rendering plant before we're all Soylent Green! Plastic Man shouts, and the Metal Men turn, rushing towards Hawkman and the Superman robots. We can buy you some time, they shout. Rex thinks they're crazy, but the Metal Men remind him that their only job is to protect human life. Rex then heads back inside where he finds the GI robot has been overtaken. He rushes forward, transforming his body into acid, burning through the once heroic robot. Outside, the Metal Men stand no chance and are quickly wiped out by the Superman robots, but they hold the line long enough for Rex to destroy the center. Mercury watches, his body falling apart as the center explodes. We did it, but how many more? He gasps before everything goes dark. At New Mazo's base, Batman has put a plan of escape into effect, knowing that if they can manage to hit the crack in Ultramorpho's chest, they can dismantle him. They might have a chance for Superman to then regain some of his strength. Luckily, Batman has put some of the geniuses to work on creating a makeshift bow for Oliver Queen. As the plan goes into effect, Oliver and Batman crouch in the shadows. This is the best they could do? This will blow my secret identity, you know. Oliver whispers, but Batman smiles. I'm Batman. Everyone will think I did it. Magus distracts Ultramorph, giving Oliver his chance to fire. The arrow pierces Ultramorpho's chest, shattering the android. Block the radiation! Hurry! Batman shouts, and the other scientists rush forward with lead shielding. Superman manages to shatter the collar around his neck, and then using his super speed, he rips off everyone else's as well. But then he stumbles as Batman catches him. You should be recovering! Keep blocking the kryptonite! Batman shouts, but Ultramorpho has already started to reassemble. Not to worry, he's not the only one who can juggle the elements. I got this. Firestorm calls out, and the heroes look up as a makeshift team descends into the base. Green Lantern, Firestorm, Supergirl, Wonder Woman, Metamorpho, Flash, and Robin have all answered the call. Batman gathers everyone together, warning them about the New Mazo. He also turns to Magus, asking why the Metal Men's programming hasn't been overtaken. Foresight. I programmed them long ago to block any direct commands other than my own. Magus explains, and Batman picks up one of the remote satellites that New Mazo was using to broadcast his signal. A plan forming in his mind. Green Lantern, blanket the Earth with these. Hurry! he shouts, and then he turns to Robin and Wonder Woman, asking them to find Tio Morrow. He turns to the rest and orders them to neutralize every new Mazo agent and reclamation plant that they can find. Meanwhile, using the invisible jet, it doesn't take Diana and Robin long to find Tio Morrow, who is watching the world events unfold. Diana wraps him up in the lasso of truth, demanding to know what he knows about these events. Morrow smiles at her, explaining that he was approached by Ivo, but Tio Morrow refused to help, knowing that new Mazo would bring the end of humanity, that nothing they do now can stop him. "It's hopeless," he says with a smile. Back at New Mazo's base, the heroes are making sure that the captured villains are put back into jail, and Batman looks over his shoulder to see Supergirl standing nearby. "Why aren't you helping the others?" "I had a different idea. I'll do what I need to do, don't worry. But first, I choose to eliminate you," she says as her form shifts, revealing New Mazo as he raises a Green Lantern ring. New Mazo raises the ring, firing a blast at Batman before lashing out with his own lasso and wrapping it around the Dark Knight. "I suppose it's unfair of me to expect a human to fight me. I am, after all, a one-man Justice League. The man who murdered Batman," he says with a smile as he raises the Dark Knight up. But a blue, red, and green blur flies by out of the sky as Supergirl and Martian Manhunter slam into New Mazo. They begin to drive him into the earth, freeing Batman in the process. "Martian Manhunter and I saw you ambush Batman, you creep. Maybe pick on somebody who's more of a match," Supergirl shouts as she hits New Mazo with a blast of heat vision. But New Mazo's hands lash out and he grabs them by the throat. "Who would that be, Supergirl?" he asks with a smile as he throws them away. He then leaps back to the surface, having already copied their powers, hitting them both hard. Jean rushes forward, but New Mazo grabs him by the throat. "You're wasting my time. You can't win this fight." "It's still 2 against 1, Jean shouts, but another blur joins the fight and Superman punches New Mazo. 3, Superman says. 4, Wonder Woman snaps as she rushes in, hitting the android hard. More heroes join the fight and everyone hits New Mazo with everything that they've got. Batman and Magus watching nearby, with Batman taking a call from Robin, who informs him of what Morrow said, about how Morrow knows nothing that can stop New Mazo. "It's a no-win situation," Morrow shouts, but Batman shakes his head. "No such thing." His mind reeling over the information that Morrow gave them, and more heroes begin to arrive, but Batman orders them to stay back. New Mazo is merely copying all of their powers. They can't beat him this way. "So what, we just watch the slaughter? How do we fight him if we can't get near him?" Green Lantern asks, but Will Magus smiles, finally finishing the work that Batman gave him. "I'll tell you, through proxy," Magus says as he hits a button, allowing all of the overtaken robots to have the same programming as his metal men. Now free of the machine takeover, the robots rush forward, attacking New Mazo with everything that they have. New Mazo is wounded, his fake skin is tearing, and it all begins to reveal the skeletal robot beneath it. But it still isn't enough. The android is already healing. Superman struggles to his feet, ordering the rest of the heroes to prepare for the final fight. But Batman suddenly realizes what he's forgotten, and he turns to Magus. "Get ready with your override one more time!" Superman then prepares for the final fight, but there's suddenly a green blur that rushes past him and slams into New Mazo. As the smoke clears, New Mazo looks up to see Amazo standing over him. "Ah, you're their cavalry, little brother? You're outmoded, a sad relic of a new world that I'm creating," New Mazo shouts as he gets to his feet, punching Amazo. The two robots continue to fight, with the heroes shooting energy from out of absorption range, but Batman is just smiling. He knows that the two androids will continue to duplicate each other until they create a feedback loop. Finally, there's a massive explosion that destroys everything around them. The smoke clears, revealing New Mazo's shattered body still trying to stand. "He's on the ropes! Let's finish the job before he recovers," Green Lantern shouts, but Superman stops him. "If anyone deserves the final blow in this fight, it's Metamorpho," Superman says, so Rex steps in, hammering New Mazo again and again for framing him for murder and making the world think that he is a villain. Finally, only New Mazo's shattered skull remains. "That's what you get for messing with the Element Man," Rex says. Later, the world returns to normal. The rest of the reclamation centers are destroyed. Will Magus rebuilds his metal men, and the robotic heroes are returning to normal. At the end of the day, Batman, Superman, Rex Mason, and Jimmy Olsen stand on the roof of the Daily Planet. But Jimmy is still worried. He wrote a whole story about how Bruce Wayne was possibly the killer, and the billionaire was even arrested. He's worried that Wayne is going to sue him. But Batman steps forward. Jimmy, listen to me. You followed the facts. That's a reporter's job, and you did it well. From everything that I've heard, Bruce Wayne strikes me as a reasonable man. I doubt he'll hold a grudge. Another adventure of the world's finest team comes to an end. And next time, we'll be looking at the origin of how Batman and Superman even met. Make sure you stick around. See you next time.